Welcome Chitra Rajan and Pankajam Sridevi.
Hey, Pankajam here.
Hi Chitra. Welcome Pankajam Sridevi. Good afternoon to all of you. So, fireside chat with Pankajam Sridevi and Dr. Chitra Rajan will be the moderator for this session, and she's a serial entrepreneur. And Pankajam Sridevi is the Managing Director, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, India Operations. Ma'am, can you switch on your video if possible? Thank you. Over to you, Chitra. The floor is yours.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Chitra Rajan, please take over. I think Chitra has some trouble logging in. We'll just wait for it.
Yes. I thought that I have trouble logging in.
Yes, I suppose everybody is online these days and the bandwidth is also getting very slow. Sometimes. And Women's Economic Forum, for the first time, we are doing it digital. So actually you're creating history here, ma'am.
Yeah, I know. It's fantastic. It's really good.
Usually it's an on-ground event. It'll be, held in some place. So for the first time, we have taken it digital with, 7 tracks for 2 days. So wonderful.
Yeah, I was listening to some of the tracks. It's fabulous. The technology is working so fine. Yeah.
Yes. The thing is, we have global speakers. Since there is no travel in these COVID times, it's difficult to travel. So lots of global speakers have, signed up and showed the willingness to participate. So that is why we have kept the timing like that, so that it is possible for people across the globe to join. It will be suitable time for them. I suppose there is a problem for Chitra to join. So, ma'am, probably you can just you can begin your inspiring words to the audience.
Yeah, my name is Pankajam Sridevi. I just thought I'll give Chitra had said that I have to speak on the economy and how it is moving, etc. So I think till Chitra comes, I'll tell 1 or 2 things that are very, very critical for women.
Yes.
I think the first one is to take control of our destiny. Most of the time we no is a 2-letter word, but it is a very long sentence. Most of the time we hesitate to say no, whether it is our career or at home or in social circles, because we think that we must be the super wife, the super mom, the super sister, the super daughter, the super daughter-in-law, the super neighbor. It goes on, the super goes on. So I think that it's time for us to step back and look at what we need to do. What is my dream? And that dream can be that I want to visit, Kashmir. That can be a dream. If that is the dream, I would look at how do I reach there? And many times as women, we think that financial inclusion is the job of men, managing finance and taking care of finance and looking at it over a period of time is the job of a man. But if my dream is to go to Kashmir, then I must think of what are the finances that I need to have to go there. I'm just giving you an example. Or say that I want to retire in 15 years. I want to become an entrepreneur in 15 years and I need 10 lakhs in my bank to do that. So how do we do it? So financial management is not going to an ATM and taking money. It's about investments. It's about looking at what we want to do with the money that we earn and maybe the money of other people in our houses. So normally we expect our spouse or our brother or father or somebody to take care of what we earn. I think it's time for us to think that what do I want to do? What's my dream? If my dream is to follow the steps of my husband or my brother, so be it. But it's time for us to think very, very, very ardently about what we want to do. And I think one of the basic things that we miss is looking at how to take care of our funds. I must tell you that till I started talking in forums, I myself was a victim of that. I never knew what was happening to my money. But when I started looking at it and when I started talking to other women, I was looking at how to manage my finances. And I must tell you that even though my husband is a very good person who manages funds and saves money, etc., I thought after I joined that bandwagon, we started making better investments. So in my mind, women are better investors, and women are better at looking at holistically what we need to do with that. And the other thing that I wanted to say is that we have a lot of education identity. So when we are young itself, we say, okay, girls have to be taught. Maybe not in urban areas, it's very high. Rural areas, it might be a little less. But there is no career identity. So career is like you work from 10 to 5 and then you get back home before your children come, before your husband comes or before your family comes, and then you have to become a family woman. And at work, we are seen as people who have some kind of constraints because of being a woman and you have to run a family. So on both sides, we really do not have career identity. And I'm like, we need it. As women, we have to dream big. We have to have our career identity as working women and entrepreneurs. It's not just working women. I've seen a lot of fundamentally brilliant entrepreneurs. Chitra is one of them. I'm sad she's not able to get in.
No, I've got it. I'm back now.
Chitra, I was just talking about, how do we really get to become what we want to be, and create that identity, be it career or be it on the entrepreneur side. And that is left to us. So I would say that if I want to take care of my children, I want to take a back seat for 2 years, so be it. If I want to go to work after 3 months of maternity leave or go back early because my career is very important, I'm on the verge of getting to the next step of my career, so be it. The ecosystem and so our dream. So I stop here, Chitra, because I not just thought we'll start and
your voice is coming a little garbled, Pankaj.
And hand over to you virtually the mic. Chitra, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm very much there. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, Chitra, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Sorry, my BSNL connection blew off in the last minute. So
okay.
I had to, try something else. Even though Pankajam has already started, let me welcome her into this. And please, all of you, join me in welcoming a very powerful and inspirational speaker. At the same time, an extremely charming conversationalist. That's what I say about Pankaja. I have been interacting with her for quite some time, and it's always a pleasure to interact with her. And every time I had a conversation. Pardon? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think she lost connection.
Chitra, you may have to log in. You may have to re-log in. I can't hear you.
No.
Meghal is able to hear me.
Actually, I can hear you, Chitra.
Yeah, so how do we go about this? Something wrong at Pankajam's end?
I think so.
This is becoming a problem. What do we do?
Ma'am, can you hear my voice, Pankajam ma'am? Yeah, can you hear now? Can you hear now, Pankajam ma'am?
Yes, I can hear, but I can't hear Chitra.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you now, Chitra.
Okay. So that's what I was saying, that you are a very powerful and inspirational speaker and an extremely charming conversationalist. For me, I enjoyed every minute of talking to you, and it happens that every time I call and talk to you, whether it's a phone call or I meet you in person, the conversation, which is supposed to last for just about 5 minutes, invariably goes up to 45 minutes to an hour, and still I walk out thinking that if only I had more time, I can spend some more time talking to you. So
thank you, Chitra.
So I want to quickly tell you to tell us that you moved from a very stable and set place like ANC to take something more challenging like Commonwealth Bank of Australia as managing director. What prompted you to take this kind of a leap? Because in Commonwealth, as far as I know, you are setting everything from scratch, whereas ANC was already a very well-established player in India.
Yeah, so I kind of established ANZ also in a big way in India. But, I realized that the job that I was in ANZ could be done by the people who work for me. So if there is a job that can be done by others, then there is no meaning in being in that job as CEO. So at that time, Commonwealth Bank wanted to come to India. And they wanted to build a very large capability center. And I thought it's a great opportunity to showcase the skill of India. And the way I got out of ANZ was also by saying that I put my country in front of the organization. And the other thing is that it was a big challenge. And I proudly say, even now in the organization in CBA, when I have a lot of challenges, I say that only I can do this job. So the reason why I moved from ANZ to CBA is because the ANZ job could be done by the people whom I groomed, but I think the CBA job can be done only by me. And I'm very proudly saying that because of the industry experience that I have, and also because it's a very challenging job to build an organization from scratch. You have to build trust with people who are sitting miles away from you. You have to build trust with the people who are joining you. You have to ensure that you build a really, replicate the community that you have around you inside the organization. So I thought it's an amazing opportunity, and also meet a lot of new women, men, evaluate them, give them a great career. What more do you need to join another organization, and also get paid well, Chitra? So,
okay.
It's a fantastic. Yes. I never go for less.
Okay. Now that we are running out of time, but I still would want you to know you're a banker and you are the ex-president of Bangalore Chamber of Industries and Commerce. So you've always had your fingers on the pulse of the economy. So can you quickly tell us about what do you think is happening in the economy today? And with COVID, which has disrupted everything which we have ever thought of, and every contingency plan which I've ever had has gone out of the window. What do you think is way forward for the economy today?
So I think, when we were looking at March, April, we were very, pessimistic. And we said that we will take multi-quarters, 6-7 quarters to turn around. And at that time, we did not really think of the many innovations that will come and another set of industries that will spring up. And I think now we are much more optimistic because we are also seeing that direct, indirect taxes, etc. That's the sign actually, and GST collections for the government, etc. is really going higher than what it was in earlier months. And the reason for that is when we have struggled with a few, industries like airline, food, and many other industries where if you lose revenue for a day, you don't get it back. But other industries have sprung up. I must tell you, the one that got biggest revenue was Microsoft. They have increased their last year's half yearly revenue. It has gone up by 12% because all the platforms, etc., have sprung up. We have a whole set of industries that are surviving and doing extremely well because they are, instead of making banians and shirts and kurtis, they are now making, PEP equipments, masks, etc., and minting money, I must tell you. Then platforms like Amazon and others have diversified to allow even Kirana shops to use their platform, so they're making money. Netflix is another organization that is making money. Data storage organizations are making money. Rental organizations are rental because people are saying, I don't want to buy a house, but I want to rent a house. renting of all the furniture, like because we are saying work from home, so a huge impact on furniture market, rentals. They were all struggling. So, and on tech education, I think enormously we have another huge set of industries that are coming up. So it's really a balance. I think I'm very optimistic that in
so we
2
can
to 3
really
quarters
see. So the whole world is looking at the pandemic as something which has really destroyed everything what we have ever practiced and believed. But we still have a lot of hope and a big future waiting for us, especially India as a country. So thanks a lot.
Yes, definitely.
As usual, it was a pleasure. And as usual, we're running out of time. I still have so many things to ask you. So I'll probably catch up with you sometime again.
Pankajam ma'am, just one thing, we want to tell some good news. Women's Economic Forum is going to confer you with the award of Iconic Woman Creating a Better World for All. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You also get Iconic Woman Creating a Better World for All. Congratulations, both of you. And thanks for being in this session. Have a lovely
day. Thank you so
much.
A lot. Really appreciate you inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
So viewers, we are moving on to the next session, Fireside Chat with Lord Rami Ranger. And we have Minku Buttar with us again as a moderator. Welcome, Minku. And Lord Rami Ranger, a British peer and a businessman, honored by the Queen on 8 occasions. We are truly honored to have you here, sir. Over to you, Minku.
I'm also honored to be on your show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Magalai. And to you, Lord Ranger, a very, very warm welcome. For taking time out from your amazing, humble story of success that we want to hear today. And we share the same roots, so you make us so proud. I just have been looking forward to this beautiful session for a long time, and to all our listeners. For some reason, a lot of people know about you, and a lot of listeners today are going to be listening. I don't need to go into any details. Magalai has taken care of it. But yes, we're very, very proud to have you here. Now, it is said, I'll just go right into what inspiration that, I would like you to share with our listeners. It is said that a strong woman knows she has strength enough for the journey, but a woman of strength knows it is in the journey where she will become strong. And I personally believe that to stand up in trying times is a necessity, but also very empowering. And I truly salute your roots, your humble roots, Lord Ranger, as well. I salute your mother, because a remarkable woman that she was, shining example of inspiration. And today, if you will allow me, I invite you to share that enriching excuse me, era of your life that has made you who you are today. And if any questions come up, please allow me to, have a few minutes in the end for a Q&A. Otherwise, for that inspiration story of how you think a woman can be empowering, over to you, Lord Ranger.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Minku. I'm very grateful, and I am so honored to be on a panel. As you know, I'm a single parent child, so everything I have today, I owe it to a remarkable woman who was our mother. And I dedicate this program of my life to that remarkable mother who suffered the most unfortunate fate due to the breakup of India. My father was a political leader. He was against the partition of India. So unfortunately, some student of DAV school, Multan, took out a procession against the division of India. They got caught in communal riot. Our father went to save them. Though he saved the student, but he was assassinated because he was already a marked man, giving a lot of speeches against the division of India. He was a visionary. He could foretell the consequences of religious disharmony. He used to warn the then Muslim leader that if you create a country on the basis of hatred, how will you remove that base? It'll be very difficult.
Absolutely.
Never see peace in the subcontinent. His prediction came true. So my mother became widow at the young age of 35 with 8 children. But she was a remarkable, intelligent woman. I want to show you the strength women have. And and today I really compliment you, all you people, women, because any society you want to see, you judge a society the way they treat their women. No country can progress, no society can progress where they keep women behind. When people keep or society keep women behind, they become behind themselves, because husband and wife, a team, which are important to bring up the next generation children. And a woman who has not experienced anything herself cannot impart to her children, because women are the architects of our future generation. Husbands are always busy with their livelihood, or job, traveling and all that. So if a child cannot ask a question about his math or his English or spelling to a woman, wait till your father will come home. So you can imagine the damage is caused. On top of that, if a woman is empowered, she can go out to work and she can bring another income. For example, my wife worked and we were able to give the best education to our children. So I have a daughter who runs an organization. She's a consul, by the way. She will be a member of parliament soon. But she runs an organization called womenempowered.co.uk, where because she saw the struggle of my mother, she wanted to make sure women. Unfortunately, when people want to exploit someone, they keep them backward, but they don't realize the short-term gain are a long-term losses, big losses for the whole family. So therefore, my struggle has been to educate people. Look at the way my mother, at the age of 35, was widowed, 8 children, lost her ancestral home, breadwinner and country, arrived on a refugee train to India, penniless, completely destitute. But her own brother told her to give your children to the orphanage because you will not be able to look after the children. But she said, look, I will not give up. I will not give in, no matter what the fate throws at me. And fate did throw a lot of unfortunate condition upon her. And she worked as a teacher. But one thing about our mother was very intelligent. She brought all the documents belonging to my father, the press cutting, the certificate, the work, the letters of his friend. My father's class fellow were Swaran Singh, who was the foreign minister, Hukam Singh, and Ujjal Singh was the speaker. That kind of society my father was. So
you're right. So she was very aware.
Yeah, he was.
She was in the present. No, she herself, your mother, was a very aware woman, very rooted in the present. She had the presence of mind, and that helped her.
Because our father educated her. He said, when you meet English bosses, my bosses, I feel embarrassed. So he brought a teacher, he empowered her, he encouraged her to study in those days. I'm talking, they got married in 31.
What a visionary.
Yes, so that's what saved us. But anyway, she brought and she showed the paper to the chief minister. This is what I was, this is what I've become. He was completely taken aback. He was shaken. And he said, okay, are you educated? She said, yeah, I'm Gyani Pass, little education.
Absolutely, I know that. Yeah.
Okay, then we'll give you a job in the kindergarten, ABC. And she worked as a teacher. We got the house allotted by the government. Our education became free. And our mother will go and bring cast off clothes from rich people to give us. She said, you will starve, but you will study. Yes, no matter what happened. And we worked hard. All our family realized that we have been plunged into this situation because of this breakup of India. So my 5 brothers became commissioned officer in the Indian Army. They fought 3 wars with Pakistan. And my mother received the proudest Indian mother title from the Tribune. The same desperate woman rose to the challenge because of the empowerment of her father. And I plead to all the men, they should remember that empowerment of women is not a choice, it's a necessity. God forbid, if a husband dies prematurely, he will
Yes.
leave behind a mother unable to deal with his children. They will be abused by society. They will be end up in
Absolutely.
railway
Yeah.
station cleaning shoes, or a woman unable to deal with the uncaring world we have. So therefore, if you love your children, you have to empower your wife, and she will work and bring income, which you can then have a better house, better education for your children, or better holiday. So it is a huge
Res-
impact.
and a
Women-
responsibility, I
yes.
think.
and and also because my wife has worked for Ministry of Defense, Inland Revenue, and she has worked shoulder to shoulder with me, and because of her strength, I was able to look forward rather than looking back, because I knew there's a strong woman behind me. She will look
Mhm.
after my children, she will look after my house, and I was able to put in all the hours under the sun to build our business in a country where we were just immigrant. And nothing was made easier for us, because we were, our language was different, our culture, color,
Absolutely.
everything.
Yes.
We had
Yes.
to overcome
Mhm.
all the bigotry and prejudice by working extra hard. So that is what
Yes.
I want to say to you. And I want to compliment your organization, that you have to help yourself, because if you don't help yourself, you will not get any for people. If you wait for other people, the men's are too busy in their own world.
So
So
true.
therefore, I will always tell you that you also have to encourage women to get
Mhm.
into politics, because it's no point having very big dreams and ambitions when you don't have powers to implement them. So therefore,
Yes, I agree that
women,
you have to walk the talk.
exactly,
Yeah.
on your forum, you please encourage women to take part in the decision making, the political and the public life. Although we make money is fine, but you still have to have some interest in the day-to-day running of the country. And
Mhm.
doctors and politicians, they never come to you. You have to go to them. If you don't
Right.
go to them, they don't bother with you. So therefore, my suggestion to you is, please get some politicians, especially the women, on board, because they are the conduit to take your message to the right places. Because otherwise, we have lofty dreams, lofty ideas, but there is nobody to take it to the right level from where things can happen. And encourage you, I encourage you to have on your forum some politicians also, so they also know what women go through, what women issues are, what women problems are. Because women are probably
Absolutely.
more than 50% of India's population. The day women, for example, I tell you, when the South India
Mhm.
woke up with the IT industry,
Right.
India got noticed by the world. Yes, South India came very late. First was Northern India fighting all the time with enemies and all that. But the South India came with its soft power, and that,
Absolutely. I am a witness to it. I am in Bangalore, the
yes. So
the
you can
Silicon
imagine.
Valley of India. Yeah.
So the day women wake up, they realize that they have our constitution guarantee equality to women,
Mhm.
to race, religion, equality. So we are product of a secular country, because we are taught to use merit, not religion, to surge ahead. And across the
Absolutely.
country, across the border, people are using religion.
Yeah.
Religion is like
Yeah.
a straight jacket. You can't move. Once you put yourself in a religious straight jacket, you are free,
Absolutely.
because religion is for peace of mind, not to guide and
Yeah.
control
Yeah.
you. So therefore, today most of the Indians run blue chip company all over the world, because they are meritocracy. They use merit. They don't use any religion or race to be where they are. So therefore, women are the most important in the life. I am
Pillar.
telling you, my mother,
Yes.
my father, my friend, my sister, everything. She was amazing. 8 children, no,
Absolutely.
in a strange country. She rose the challenge, instilled the right values. Each one of our brothers became a very
Yes.
distinguished officer in the Indian Army. And here I am. I've broken every British record, winning 5 Queen's Award, because of the
Absolutely.
teaching. And
Yes.
do I have any more time, or is the time run out?
Yes, I think something was coming to my mind. You have such a powerful message, right, Meghalaya, to
Yes.
give to our forum. So I have a few things, Lord Ranger, as an extract of your wonderful, powerful. First is your message. Thank you for illuminating the bulbs of men out there who do not understand what a powerful pillar we are. We are also women, the foundations. Secondly, I also want to tell you, you had an absolute point that politics is a great medium of getting your voice heard. So our visionary, Dr. Harbin, has actually come up with a very powerful institution called Wiki, which then we women, for example, I've taken up the presidency of Karnataka for one particular segment of lifestyle. We become the conduits. We women become the conduits. We become the channels. We become the bridges to take the message from the grassroots levels of women to the bodies, the government bodies, so that there is some action. And I am so with you. I believe that unless you really walk the talk, it's no point. It's just words that disperse in the air. So I think if you will allow me, because your message is so powerful, I would like to capture some of your essence and actually put it together as a document, as a PDF to be shared on every single forum of Women Economic Forum. What do you think, Meghala? Is that a good idea?
Superb. I agree.
So your words will be immortalized. I do pick up inspirational messages and write about it, and I am so glad it's me firsthand listening to you with this empowerment messages for women out there. I truly believe that women can be the foundation on which the house, the roof, the pillars, whatever we decide to do can stand steady. And you rightfully said about the values that a woman can inspire from a very young age into our future generations. And I will finish with this quote before I hand over to Meghalaya for all the accolades and the honor of having you here. I would say that a strong woman is actually one who feels deeply and loves fiercely.
Excellent, excellent.
It's the passion of being rooted in that love. So thank you so much with that, Lord Ranger. A real pleasure. We have so much in common. I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Thank
And
you.
with that wonderful, I think I'm so uplifted. I have a session later at 5 o'clock where I'm talking. I'll be in your seat. And I think I'm going to deliver that magic lamp and Aladdin in a very different fashion after your empowering message. Thank you so much. Over to you,
Thank you.
Magalai, and
Truly,
thank you
Lord.
once again,
Thank you.
Lord
Thank you.
Ranger.
Lord Ranger,
Thank you,
thank you
Meghalaya.
for
Thank you.
sparing your time, and so inspiring. Minku actually summed it up so beautifully. It has to go out into the world, and many people have to read that. We all have to walk the talk. As women, we have put together the first ever digital women's economic forum, and
Absolutely.
it is going on
Sure.
fabulously for 2 days. So soft power for you. So I am deeply honored to actually do the announcement of this prestigious Women's Economic Forum Award to you, Lord Ranger, Leader of the Decade Award.
Oh, thank you
Congratulations,
very
sir.
much. Thank
Congratulations.
you. I'm very
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
I'm really
And
touched, and I'm grateful, and I wish you every success, because your future of India, your future of generation, which India is going to produce. So you are not equal to men, you're better than men. You always remember that, because men can't bear children, you can. So they cannot do many things that women can do. You can run your house, you can manage your budget. You are amazing, amazing creation of Almighty God. I
you
salute.
have
Thank
you
you.
have touched, Lord Ranger, on that one point which becomes our strength, the motherhood, as well as sometimes the weakness. So thank you for equalizing that, and have a wonderful day. And may you have all the power you need for your future. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. All the best. Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank you.
Hi, Meghalai.
Hi, Ritesh. Welcome to the session.
Hi, Vandana.
Hi. Are we already live?
Yes,
I think
this is a live stream.
Richa Agarwal should join.
Yeah.
We still have a little more time.
She's saying we're waiting for the host.
I see. Okay. I think there was a short break in between, so 3:35 is our session.
Ah, okay. No, Ritesh has said waiting for the host. Okay. Yeah, I know there was a break. That was good. Give us a little more breathing time to come and,
So Vandana, nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you and your taxi.
Meghalai, I
you so
can't
much.
hear you. I don't know if it's just me.
Yeah, it's you. I can hear it out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Maybe it's my headphone.
So
Nice.
this is connected on Zoom. This is not on the other website that you join as an attendee.
No, that is just the platform for you to connect. The actual streaming is done by Zoom.
So if somebody asks a question will it be on that?
Yes, it will be on that.
Okay, so
Those questions can be made live here if somebody asks.
okay.
Here.
Because I can't enter anything there, right? So when I click the button here.
No, the web host, he has to make it there if somebody asks a question. So where are you from, Ritesh? Which place are you from?
Bangalore.
And Vandana also from Bangalore, right?
Yeah.
I am from Chennai.
Lovely.
Where in Chennai?
I live in Annanagar.
Oh, I'm an Anandnagar boy myself.
Small world.
I studied in SBOA all through my schooling, and yeah, my folks are still there. So
why is our participant showing 4?
No, that is the host, the technical host. He's
okay.
also shown as a participant.
Okay, I've told Richa to join as speaker. So how do you really send it live? Like, what is it? That's a time of 3:35? How does it
Yeah, I
go?
think Richa is here. I think we can start since we have all the speakers here. We can start. Richa, she's just connecting to
How are
audio.
you? Hi, how are you?
Richa, we can't see you.
Yeah, I'm just doing it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Good, good. Our host is also there, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hi, Rita.
Hi.
So probably we can begin this session, guys, and welcome to the session Women in the Driving Seat. And we have a moderator, Ritesh Mathur, CEO and founder, Global Work Studio, and Vandana Suri, founder, Taxi, and Richa Agarwal, co-founder and CTO at Ride Ally. Over to you, Ritesh. Please
Thank you.
take over.
Megalai, thank you so much. Welcome. This is, I think, the world's first ever digital conference of this scale.
Wow.
Really heartwarming to be part of it. And, when I was asked if I would moderate the session, no two thoughts about it. So thanks, Vandana and Richa, also for taking time out for this, both being pretty busy entrepreneurs, we know. I'll do a quick introduction. So Richa is multifaceted. Richa has recently also been the president of the Rotary Club. Is that correct, Richa?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
besides that, she's the co-founder and CTO of Ride LA. She's a techie. She's contributed to, a patent being won. She's won the second best CTO awards in the startup category with Dell. She was in the top 200 women entrepreneurs at the Women's Startup Program, organized by IAMB with Goldman Sachs. And today she runs a very successful organization called Ride Alley. So welcome, Richa. Welcome to the session. And Vandana likes to be called a woman cabbie. Isn't that correct, Vandana?
That's the best award of my life.
Great. So Vandana, Vandana's been with large organizations. You're a chartered accountant yourself. You've run large professional operations, and one of the very first, I think, to begin the idea of women in this very male-dominated cab aggregation or overall mobility business, I think. So Taxi is currently, in NCR, Delhi NCR, and in Bangalore.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And, it's amazing how you and your organization trains women, the kids of these women who participate and work with you. So welcome to the session.
Thank you so much.
We have about 20 minutes, and we'll try and keep in time. So let's start with you, Richa. How has your journey been from where you've reached today? You didn't start off with Ride Alley. So how has the journey been to reach where you've reached today?
Okay, so, but I want to start a bit ahead of it, okay? So I want to talk about how we prepared for it, that thing. So it's like a dream come true when we started Ride Alley. But I'm blessed, born in an educated family where education is most of the important aspect of life. If you are I've completed my BE in 2001 and then started as like any other techie. But somewhere I have a feel that I want to start my own venture. So when I met Hari, this was the only common thing what we have. Like we want to start our own venture. So we shifted from Noida to Bangalore and we started working towards it. I owned overall technology part. I said, okay, I will own technology part, and Hari said that, okay, finance and marketing is my thing. And from there we started working on, we have an idea. So in 2009, we started our own consulting company. That is where we know the idea, what we want to do. Like we have two different ideas. One is Ride Alley and another is Test Optimizer. So Ride Alley is from the social contribution towards the environment and like that. And That test optimizer is different from the technical aspect. Where is my passion goes there. So we started working with the consulting thing because we don't have any backup from the of money and all those things. We don't have our own savings.
Right.
So that's where how it started. A lot of learnings we learned from that consulting thing also. So plan was like whatever we earn from consulting, we will put it in our startups. That's how. So Ride LA idea came actually in existence in 2010, where my husband visited Noida in one of the Penn IIT conference, and it was outside the city. So what had happened, like he was struggling to come back to the city after the conference that ends up around 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock after the networking meet. That's where the idea came up. If we have something which we partner the team, two different members of an event and a conference. So Ride LA basically started as a carpool company. So I should say it's a big struggle for us every time. Technically, we are very sound. We were doing a good trend marketing thing also. We were ahead of market. So when we started our carpool company, nobody knows that what is carpool. And we used to explain that what exactly carpool means. And that's how. So means whatever profession we learned with that thing. So I must say that when we have started and what are the people or the competitors were there at that time, they are not in the market as of now. We are the only lone survivor because of the diversity which we have taken. So we started as a carpool. Now we are known for the cab services as well as LI services. So which I'm going to talk further about it. So that's how it is, Ritesh.
And did you have to, because like you said, carpooling maybe wasn't a very prominent concept at that point in time. Did you have to encounter educating and spending a lot of time to educate the market as well on it?
Yes, it happened. So we started initially from the events because from there the data came up, from the idea came up. And after that we found it that event happened occasionally. So we went into the community where a lot of apartments are there and the people are traveling to the same destination, maybe it's company or their workplace and like that. So we started from there, but we found it that a lot of safety things came into the picture. So that's where we learned that how to make people feel trusted and safe when they are traveling. So when we started cab services, the safety and security thing, it came into that thing. So that came the line. So definitely, I remember the time when I used to say why we are saying carpool. It's a personal thing which you need to serve, and there's no cost behind it. It's like you are sharing your cost.
Right.
But yeah, so definitely a lot of teaching. We used to run the campaign which talk about why you do carpooling. Now we don't need to do that. Everyone knows that what is a benefit, what is a carbon footprint, and they talk in the term of carbon footprint now. But I remember that we used to go to different corporates and community with doing the campaign where we talk about why you should do this carpool, why it is bringing that, how you are contributing towards your environment. So yeah, it's very challenging. I still remember those days.
Vandana, what about you? How has your journey been?
Okay, so I've been an investment banker prior to this, and I think the seed of change starts very early in life, actually. So if I remember my childhood, I was always this loud spoken, in the face, somebody who could verbally punch people when it comes to it. Okay, so there's a lot of leadership which was kind of bottled in, and being naive as a girl. Okay, so I think the initial it started very early in life. Now, how it really took shape was in 2014 there was a rape in an Uber in Delhi, and the next day the headlines came that, you know what, if there was a woman driving me, this would not have happened. And that kind of really triggered me to take that step, you know. So it also gave a lot of direction to what possibly I had faced in my childhood as abuse, that kind of punchiness, that boldness that I had, everything just fell into place with Taxi. I realized that, you know, I was bold enough to do this, and I was bold enough to get more people to do this. And that's how I think it's a switch that just happens, you know. And I've never looked back.
From corporate to being an entrepreneur, and very different fields as well. You know, you're
Yeah.
banker to
Yeah. So I don't think, when the passion is so high and when you realize somewhere that this is what your purpose in life is, then all that doesn't matter anymore. You just jump into it. It's like falling in love, right? Like you'll have 20 things telling you, hey, don't do this, hey, don't do this, but then you still fall into it, right? So taxi was just that I had to take that plunge. It was destined, you know, that's how it was.
What are the challenges you face more so from this industry perspective? Not necessarily from, running operations point of view, but from an industry perspective, what challenges do you face?
So if you actually look at cab data, okay, across India, I'm just talking, we're expected to be touching about 14.3 billion in another 2 years, right? The industry is very huge. Just about 5 or 6% of the market is currently with Ola and Uber. The rest of it is actually the unstructured market.
Okay.
The so-called, so yes, the limelight comes on Ola, Uber, and two players, but the rest of it is unstructured. And 95% of the unstructuring is where it takes shape, right? And if you look at our population, we are 133 crore population in India. But if you look at all the women cab companies, they're just about a handful, maybe 5 or 6 across the country. There must be barely about 200 or 250 women cabbies on the road. Okay, so it's a very big market which we are in. We are just very small players at this point of time, but the need is very high. So the day I just launched it, and I just wrote a Facebook post that, hey, listen, I want to do this. We had about 3,000 calls coming in that day. And I was, till that time, I didn't even have a cabbie. I was the only person who was driving, right? So, I mean, 3,000, that's when the market is so hungry, right? 50% of our population is women. Another 25% are children. And 75% of us are feeling unsafe, right? So there has to be a better solution. And it is a matter of time before women cab industry really picks up. It is a very strong need.
Did it take a lot of, because it's not something that traditionally or naturally came as something that women would take as a career choice. So did you face challenges in reaching out to women to explain to them why being a cabbie is beneficial, economically, socially?
Yeah. So we did that. In fact, nobody was willing to become a cabbie. So you had the middle class women who knew how to drive, but sorry that, the blue collar thing that I will not be a cabbie, right? So they wouldn't come into the system. And the lower economic segment never thought of becoming a cabbie. But we had to really go deep down into the market. I was in a slum every second day. It was like, HR mobilization that was happening in slums. I was talking to their families. I was convincing them. We also had to make a business model which made it safe for her. So the biggest thing was women can't be safe. How can my wife and my daughter become a taxi driver? She's not going to be safe. So we then made a business model which was accommodating her. Firstly, I gave her training. 6 to 8 months, I trained these women in driving. They've never sat in a car. They've never sat in a car. So, getting her to be a professional driver was a challenge. Then what we did was we said, okay, your safety is important. On the other hand, in the market, women and child safety is important. So we said, okay, listen, you become a cabbie and you drive only women and children. Simple. Sorry, guys, you guys are out. But then, we had to make a safe ecosystem for her to even come inside. So it was never, the way the business picked up was never about a cab. I don't talk of myself as running a cab company. I'm actually I'm like an alternate mom going and picking up kids. I'm like your buddy taking you to office or taking you to college. So the whole concept of cabs had to be transformed into a very relationship based. Cabs just became the logistics point.
Richa, what about you? What were you did talk about it initially about, how educating people on carpool was one of the challenges that you faced. But what are the other challenges that you faced, and what are the current challenges you face or your organization faces in the current scenario with COVID, and people wanting to be indoors, so on and so forth? What are those challenges that you face?
Yeah, so see, we started as a carpool company, but we found it that there are some gray areas in the laws. And from the ethical point of view and the values what we have, we thought of it's not a good idea to utilize this gray area. And that's where we came into it, what is next for us, where we already have the customers or the people who want this cave. As Vandana mentioned, market is huge. So we got into cab. So initial challenges was initially like to get the reliable drivers. After Ola and Uber, it was a very trendy thing. Like if you don't want to take the cab or you want to cancel the drive, it is all okay. Like na, and the drivers are fond of or used to of incentives and all. So getting a reliable drivers was a very much challenging for us, being a new startup company. As Vandana said, that we have associated with a lot of local vendors where we felt like we are stringent in onboarding system, gives us more safety. So another point of view, what like Vandana also mentioned about the safety and security. So how we will tell that, okay, come on board and we are safe and secure, where the Ola and Uber or some X company already have some news regarding some of the stuff. So that was the more challenging thing. But because of our onboarding thing and word of mouth marketing, we overcome that. Our like drivers need to be behaviorally more stronger. And as Vandana also mentioned, that it is a technical thing with the human touch, where what we are doing. So technology is needed for scaling up, but we all are human who are interacting. So we need a human plus technology. That's where we have a USP of no cancellation. Being in this COVID time means we where the complete lockdown was there, nobody was mobile. We have some drivers who came back to us. We are having very hard time to pay our EMIs, to survive, to feed our family. So at that time, see how they came back to us, because they have a trust and faith in us. Something will definitely happen. And whatever is there, we have did some ration kit distributions. We have given some small loans to them so that they can able to survive. And we have, in one instance, it happened that we have even talked to the person, his lender, that to convince him that if that person won't able to give you money back in 1 year, we will return on his behalf. You can trust on us. We are there. You know our office. You know our house.
Sorry, but I've been told we just have some time left. But I want to ask both of you specifically in relation to what's happening currently with COVID.
Yeah.
What have your organizations done to build confidence back to customers that it's safe to travel in our cabs? Maybe we start with you, Vandana, and we'll go to Richa. It's safe from a hygiene and sanitation point of view, right? So I think that's a huge mental block that people might have. So how have you overcome that?
So point number one, how we've made it safer. I think the risk which the client is facing is who sat in the car before me. That is the question mark. Now, we are not into retail drives at all. We're barely into retail drives. We have a fixed set of clientele who continue with us through the year. So I know exactly which clientele I'm going to even drive. I know the entire, even medical history of the client. It's a relationship game. Second thing is we have a very small team. We are literally right now, we've scaled down from 50 drivers to possibly just about 20. I know exactly who's coming from where. Less is good right now. It becomes that way. Again, I'm always working on a fixed module. I'm sanitizing the car after every single drive. It's an expensive affair to sanitize the whole car after every drive, but then we're doing that. So we're going all out, working on fixed clientele, fixed route modules. Even the driver is fixed. So there's no randomness. There's no knowledge is good out here, and that's what we're working on.
What about you, Richa? How are you encountering?
So other than the sanitization after each drive, we are also educating our drivers not only drivers, but also the customers, that how to make a no touch a drive thing with the complete safety. We also try to use a safety shield in between the driver and that thing. And we are like given sanitizers to both, where will be set at the passenger seat also, as well as in the driver's seat, where they can come up, and definitely cleaning of the touch areas that driver himself is doing, wearing mask, and making sure when they are traveling what to do. And even that app is there in place. We have mobile Android app as well as iOS app. So we are telling people not to do anything like cash transaction or something. It is all online. So these all things, awareness, sanitization, and making that shield type of arrangement, that worked well for us.
Like, as a closing comment, I think both organizations, you guys are in a market that has so much to give back to society. It's not just about providing employment to, marginalized part of the society. That is a huge aspect. But the fact that you're reducing the number of cars that need to actually be on the road, its positive impact on the environment. Vandana, you spoke about women and child safety, which is a huge issue globally, and I'd say in our country as well, but globally it's a huge issue. So I think there are many positives. Thank you both for your time. I need to check with Meghalaya if there's any questions that have come up.
None have come, Ritesh. So I think we can wind up, because I have some good news. I really like this, job of sharing the good news. Women's Economic Forum confers awards for all the three of you, Ritesh Mathur, Vandana Suri, and Richa Agarwal.
Wow.
Exceptional leader of excellence. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
And
Clap for everyone. Yeah.
beautiful lady. Power to us.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for being in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Look forward.